I want to check the vibe. Brit.
The vibe is high. And
High vibes.
And you know why.
Are you going to say?
I can't say.
Okay, we'll not say.
We
but
can't say. That's the annoying thing. That's like so
I
annoying.
know,
like,
that's...
project coming soon. Secret project. Like, okay. There's a thing that I'm trying to, I don't know, that I would like to be cast on. That's all I'm going to say. Auditioning for different things. And so, you know, I really want it.
Yeah.
It's fun. So
Because
the vibe is high. I love like a good, exciting adventure.
I know, I'm excited for you. Like, I heard about this and I was like, oh, I think I got just as excited. I'm like, how do we manifest this? Like, let's
Raven
do
started
it.
researching.
I know. I started doing my research. It was just like a whole thing, but it will be super cool. And
If it happens, y'all will be the first to know.
the very first to know.
And then when I find out it doesn't, you'll be the first to know too. And I'll give you the dirt.
Yeah.
Oops. Did I say that?
It'll be like a
Too late.
a couch session
An
of you just
expose.
like an expose of you just like laying it all out there.
This is what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. What about
So-
you? How's your vibe?
I'm great. So I had an interview this past week with Nelly.
Oh, wait, can we play? I wish we could play like a little bit.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
song. If it's less than 10 seconds,
If it's
can
less
we?
than 15 seconds, yes. So here's his new song with Florida Georgia Line, which you're not going to hear on YouTube, but you will hear it on the audio podcast. It's a bop. And I
Can you
had...
sing a little bit for us or no?
No.
I was thinking of like a very old song of his, and it almost eked
Which
out.
one?
But I was like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Which one?
If you want to go and take
You
a
ride
ride
with me. Yes, yes.
Whatever.
We don't know the words, but
We
it's
don't know
like,
all the words.
hey, must be the money. Yeah, everybody.
Must be the money. Guys,
Oh,
we're
weird.
Could we be more
That was
aligned?
weird. So
Is
aligned.
Nelly gonna help us learn how to get more money? Should we? Does Nelly have a great money mindset?
You know
Probably.
what? I should do like a money manifestation playlist
With
and put that
Nelly.
on there.
Absolutely.
Well, not just with Nelly, but like that song.
Yeah, he made it onto the list.
He's at the top of the list. No, I had an interview with Nelly, and
So cool.
I feel like I have talked to quite a few artists in my day.
Hell yeah.
And just none with the extensive resume as the Nelly, who,
Like, what are some of the things? Tell us.
well,
If
I
we-
mean, he's been around for 20 years.
damn, yeah.
Country grammar, like Ride With Me and oh.
So
Like,
many good ones.
so many good ones. And that's like just the ones that I remember off the top. But like I know a few others off that album 20 years ago. Can you believe that? And just like, give me 2 purrs so I can get to stomping in my Air Force Ones. And like,
Okay, yeah, okay, got it now. I was like,
and his grill song and like, I mean, it's Nelly, you guys. He was just
Nelly.
on
No, this
Dancing
is-
with the Stars. Like, it's Nelly, Brittany.
Nelly, guys. Wait, does he still have the
No.
okay. You know,
I knew it. The bandit, no, he
I'm
doesn't.
sure he's evolved as an artist, changed as a human.
I mean, yeah, that's
What was
why I
his
talked to him
vibe?
because he is so bubbly and sweet.
Oh my god.
Would you ever guess?
I would not guess that.
I just felt like, Nelly, like, he's probably like hardcore.
yeah, kind of like a badass energy.
Yeah, like kind of like,
shut
oh,
down.
I'm too cool for this girl. But no, he was super sweet and fun. And the whole reason I brought that up was because Nelly is into astrology.
What?
Yes. So
What's his sign?
Scorpio. And he was telling me a story and he's like, because I'm a Scorpio. And I was like,
We did not know, but now we do.
and I was like, listen to Astrocandy.
no, but really, did you plug us? Come on, Raven.
I didn't. I'm sure my
send him
day
a
job would be
t-shirt.
pissed if I did.
Oh, probably. You're
But
right, you're right.
yeah, anyway, I just thought that was fun because 1, I got to talk to him, and 2, I just was like, this whole astrology thing is really making a pop culture debut.
It's gone all the way to the top.
All the way to Nelly.
All the way to Nelly, the top. Wow, I can't believe he's a Scorpio.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he just, his rising sign has to be something different. He
It's
does
gotta be
not come
something.
across as Scorpio.
But
I don't
maybe
know.
that's why we thought he was going to be a hard ass.
That's true.
Maybe we felt that a little bit in his energy field.
That's a good point. So
Well, Raven, that's fun. So is that the first person you've gotten to, like, you've been able to interview in a while since this whole, Panini started? The Panini situation?
God, when they call that on TikTok,
I know.
I'm
it's
dead
so
every
nerdy,
time.
but I'm there.
Yes.
This is what my life is now, Raven.
And I think I was so nervous because, well, you do your Zoom interviews all the time. But that was my first Zoom interview, like with an artist.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, how do I work this thing? Like, I hope it doesn't. The
should've
lag,
texted me.
I should have. The lag is like daunting.
Aquarius vibe.
What?
The lag is, you didn't like say anything.
Yeah, of course
she was
not.
like, no, she was
I
like,
just thought about
She
it.
was like, maybe, but no. The lag is stressful.
It's super
Because
stressful.
It's all about your internet connection, and there's
I
really
know.
nothing you can do.
Yeah. And they were like, the record label rep was like, oh, I'm sorry. He had some like spotty internet for the first 30 seconds. So it's a little bit broken up. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
People
I just
understand these days, I think, though.
I think they do, but it was my first time. So I was like very apprehensive about it. But anyway, like it's like way to wake up and start the day with Nelly.
Like, honestly, this should be an everyday occurrence.
I'm
manifesting that.
I need my celebrity interviews back because I just feel like it was such a fun part of my job.
It's very, that sounds very like energizing and fun and like different. Like, I mean, talk about spicing up your day, getting to talk to someone that like you've listened to their music forever.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. Well, like I said, Nelly was like the one.
The one.
Meaning
You were bopping along back in the day.
Exactly. I was like, holy crap. I remember this when I was 9 and Ride With Me when they do the radio edit. I never even knew what the actual lyrics were to that song because it was like, if you want to go get with me, smoke a yeah.
I didn't know it was about weed either. I thought it was take a ride.
Well, yeah, there's okay, well.
Just learn it, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. A little late, but hey, better late than never.
Better late than never. So anyway.
Well, thanks for giving us a little peek into the fabulous life.
Yes. Now I'm going to get you a peek into how to get your vibes right around money because
how to be a rich bitch.
How to be a rich
It's time.
bitch. It starts with the inner work though,
We're
like
ready.
most things do. I mean, it's just like I hate to admit that because you just like want it all now.
Wouldn't that be nice? Just like right now. Or like yesterday. But like, yeah, there's so much inner legwork that you get to do. I really do want to say get to do because like the cool thing is we realize that we have so much power.
So much
Like,
power.
it's exciting.
It's like
We're gonna embrace it.
You need to like train to unleash it though. Does that make sense? You have to like you have
Like
to
a
go
samurai.
Yes,
Like a money-making samurai.
That's
We
right.
have to get ready, you guys. Get our vibe right.
So my first question is, how is your relationship with money, Brit? Like, what would you describe?
It's complicated.
We're is that your status on
We're
Facebook?
not really. Yeah, it is exactly. Thank you for getting the joke. Yeah, it's complicated. I mean, at different times, it's been different. Growing up, my dad was an accountant.
Okay.
For a large part of like my life, and so I feel like he was very stressed out about money, always watching every penny. So there was a scarcity.
Frugal?
Vibe.
Was he frugal?
Frickin' frugal.
Okay.
Yes, girl. Frugal is not even the word. Then my mom, very free spender. So like it's funny because like you read a lot about how spenders and savers tend to marry each other.
I did not know that.
They do.
Did you? Did you marry a spender or a saver? Which one are you?
What's funny is we're like a combo because it depends on the thing.
Okay.
Like, because I can be a spender, but then around some things, I'm like, no, like I know when to rein it in. And he's a spender, thank God, when it comes to like spoiling me. Like he does stuff for me that I wouldn't do for me.
Okay, that's good.
Because I'm like, no, we need to like.
That's sweet.
He's like, no.
Well, remember, your love language is gifts. So
So
that
it all
works
worked
out.
It all worked out, yeah. Because I can get really frugal. Like when it's time to focus, I can get very scarcity mindset. And it's a thing that I'm actively working on right now. But yeah, growing up, it was like all over the place. Like one of my parents was extremely careful and cautious and kind of, it felt over the top to me. And then the other one was very, just really about living life and not really about thinking about those things. Just kind of all figured out later.
Okay.
What about you?
I would say like it was a tight ship with, well, first my relationship with money is, I think I figured it out.
That's
like,
good.
I think I have a healthy, loving,
You
committed
did, like,
relationship with
like, yeah, y'all
money.
moved in together. You
Yes.
and your money have made some.
We are,
commitments.
yes, we're in it for the long haul. But as far as growing up, which I want to hit on because it's so important in doing that shadow work, like where do your beliefs with money come from? So think back to your childhood, and it was sort of divided. Like my dad was very frugal, and it was always like, I remember he would say he's going to kill me, but every
We just need to
Christmas,
get our parents to not watch this.
I don't. Yeah. Every Christmas he would say, "Don't expect much because we're in a recession." But like not just like in 2008, you know,
Like every Christmas.
during the actual recession, like every freaking Christmas. So I
Just
just,
trying to manage your expectations.
I guess so. But
Constantly.
yeah, he really just did not spend a ton of money. My mom, on the other hand, is just such a giver. So she would like
Interesting.
take me and get some school clothes and like really splurge on me. So that was sweet. But Yeah, I feel like most of the time my parents' mindset around money was just like hold it tight because if you let go, it might never come back. And that's the one thing that I think is important to do in your journey on bettering your relationship with money is really just moving these mental blocks. And so, for example, if you grew up and you heard the phrases like money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, or you have to work hard to make money, then you're going to live your life according to that. So if money doesn't grow on trees, that's what you heard in childhood.
Yeah, but it does.
Then you're
That's where that paper freaking comes from, is a
that's
tree.
true, but we're talking,
I know,
talking about money trees
but
here. They don't
saying,
exist.
But I'm saying the hole in the thinking is when you expand. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's true. So
I need
maybe
my little weed right now.
and yeah, okay, that was very higher minded, and it almost went over my head because yes, I see what you're doing now. It's like there's that eye twitch. It's just like reworking that way of thinking.
Yeah.
No, money does grow on trees because it comes from paper, and paper is sourced from trees. You know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like
expand your vision and like look through a different lens.
exactly.
But that feels scary. Like when you're not
It's
used
so
to
scary.
it feels super scary.
It's kind of like I hate to say this, but you just have to lie to yourself for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because the more we tell ourselves, repeat things over and over and over again, the more they become our truth. So if you are telling yourself money doesn't grow on trees, or wait, better yet, this is one we all say, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Then now ingrained in your brain is I can't afford that with whatever it is. But if you start lying to yourself, just say, and think like money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly, like over and over and over again. Soon you're going to start to believe it. And it's when you start believing that you start attracting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like it's such an energy like shift. Like I was telling you before we started the podcast today that this past week I interviewed like this person that I'm very, very I just fucking love her. Gala Darling, she like has written a book on radical self-love, and she has this like group class right now called Cash Money Honey. You guys can check her out on YouTube. I'm like stumbling over my words. Like
You're so excited.
Meeting her was like, it was such a moment, you know? But she talks about EFT tapping, which we were talking about.
Yeah,
and
this seems cool.
It's kind of like what you said about like the lying to yourself thing, but I feel like the way that this kind of works, it's like acupuncture, but through your energy. And you guys can go to like her YouTube and like do the tapping. And it really does, like you repeat the negative thing first, like the negative belief first, like money doesn't grow on trees, or like I'm never going to have enough or whatever. And you like tap, and there's this whole series that you go through. And then you start with the negative, and then you change the story, and you start saying, even though I felt this way, I fully love and accept myself. And I know that, and then you say like, that I am talented and I can trust my ability to make money. And I've seen people make money before. Like it's a very entailed thing. So you've got to like go to the YouTube to follow it. It's about like a 5-minute thing. You just go through this whole thing, and it really works. It's insane how much it makes you just feel differently. Yeah. And I think it's taking the time to sit with yourself and like, you know, like when you have like a relationship and you take the time to talk.
Yeah.
It's like that with
it's
yourself.
It's life-changing, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you just communicate with yourself.
Right.
Or whoever.
It's like taking the time to do that with yourself and to like realize that there are so many things you're just on autopilot about. And when you free yourself to believe in like who you are and your worth, like the money is like the worth thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like you give yourself that component and that support, and like it's amazing how differently you start to feel.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so good.
I would say, as far as like retraining your brain, like my initial suggestions, and maybe if this is easiest for you, is like the affirmations and just like saying things to yourself over and over. It's all about your subconscious. But if you want to up level it, like Brittany said, then try the tapping. Check out what's her name.
Tap it into your freaking brain.
What's her name again?
Gala Darling.
Gala Darling. Yeah, I did see some clips that you posted, and I was like, I've just heard so many good things about the tapping. Like that it's just like life-changing.
It really is. Like, and I have not found anything that really felt life-changing in a way until this. Like, it's been a long time. Like, it's been a really long time. And it's really a shift. And I think also, like, I don't know, letting yourself feel. Like, I like that you say the negative thing first, because it's like you let yourself be very honest, and then you kind of just are teaching yourself a different way while acknowledging the negative. Because I feel like sometimes when you just try to tell yourself an affirmation, at least for me, like, I don't believe it, like, or my subconscious doesn't believe it yet.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, also, we just changed this. So I like how it's like, you go negative, you go really into it, and then it's like you're rewriting it with a new pen.
Well, I think it's like,
so good.
Excuse me while I readjust. I think it's like a letting go process, because it's just acknowledgement if you think about it. Because it's kind of like, you know, when you do something, for example, maybe somebody hurts your feelings, and you know, your tendency or inclination is to just like move past it or whatever. Well, if you just sit in those feelings for a second, like give yourself the space to feel what you feel and try to understand, like, where is this coming from? Why do I feel this way? Okay, it's okay that I feel this way. Like, hurt happens sometimes, whatever it is. But then moving on and saying, but you know what? Because it's the same idea as what you said,
100%.
is you're literally just like acknowledging it and dismissing it. Like, thank you for serving this purpose. Like, you've got me here in my life, this way of thinking, but now we're going to move on, bye, to this way.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I think
Raven,
you've
that's so good.
figured it out. But
Well, so when you were changing, okay, so let me ask you some questions here, because
okay,
I feel like I know like a little bit about your story. The Astro fam knows a little about your story, like you're an only child and all this stuff. And so I feel like your parents' money mindset would probably be even more prevalent, because it's almost like when you're an only child, you think like you're closer to your parents in a way.
Yes,
Because it's like the three of you,
yes,
right?
yeah.
So when you like started to come into your own as an adult, like how did you combat those thoughts like of fear? And again, like nothing against the people who love us and try to protect us. You know what I mean? It's just a shift in our generation, I think.
Right. Yeah.
How did you start to like process it personally? Like, did you have those moments where you were like, okay, hold on, I'm getting into fear?
Yes. Well, that's a great question, first of all. I think it's because I did so many daunting things to my parents, like moving away to college and, you know, going into radio, like so many things that they never thought were possible, that it was easy for me to also realize their restrictions, their limiting beliefs around money are probably not true either. Because my parents also were very like, you know, the older school way of thinking. My dad was like, just get a business degree and work a 9 to 5. But I didn't. Yeah. And then it was the same thing with like the money. It's like, do I need to be frugal? Like, actually, I think I don't need one job to give me my source of income. I could have multiple jobs. Like, it's just like an expanded way of thinking. And I think that happens when you just leave the nest or not even the nest, but like venture outside of your comfort zone, what you've always known. It's like the second that it's scary. But once you step outside of what you've always known, you're going to discover the world. And like, there's so many different ways of thinking and doing and being out there. So did that answer your question?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's what you were getting at.
You just kind of like allowed, it was like natural.
It was natural because, it was sort of like, wait a second.
As you made bold decisions.
Yeah. I was like, my parents, like, I love them and they live their life the way that they do because it works for them. But I've done so many cool things not going by that book.
Yeah.
So now let me like make all the money and not want to, you know, like hold on tight to it, which I feel is, but you know, okay. I just think like it's just never been a worry money.
You've never had to worry about money?
Okay, I'm like,
because like for me, Raven, like growing or like getting out of my parents' house and all that stuff, and like after college, and I'm a more nervous, anxious person, I think by nature anyway. But I was like terrified. I went like doom, like in my head, I was like, what if I never like make any money?
Interesting.
What if I never become anything? Like, of course, very dark thoughts.
Yeah.
Scorpio moon energy. I went in there and it was a huge fear, like, because that was like my security center.
Interesting. I just never looked at the world from a money lens. I always just thought, it sounds terrifying.
It was horrible. Don't do it.
I always just thought like, if I'm doing what I love, the money will come. That's what I've always said to myself.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like,
that's great. No, but that's like amazing. That's what you should say.
I
feel like that just like came natural.
I don't know where that came from. Or why I started, because my parents definitely didn't teach me. And don't get me wrong, like I've worried about money. I remember when I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I was going to be moving to Minneapolis.
Okay.
And I had to make this move with all of my savings, all of the money that I had. I had to be like, well, I need to. I remember my dad and I, we sat down to like budget, and it was basically like I had like $300 left to my fucking name.
Yep.
Like by going from Fort Wayne to Minneapolis. But I was just like, I've just got to trust that if I jump, the universe will catch me.
And did you have a job already?
Yeah, I had a job. Okay. But like there was no guarantees. Like I was basically going for the same salary that I was already at in Fort Wayne, but with the hope that like in radio we get endorsements and appearances, and so extra money, with the hope that it would all come to fruition. Wow, you know, like I would just make that money.
That's brave.
I didn't know I would. I didn't know where I was going to live. Like I didn't know how I was going to afford to live. Like, and I will say my parents at this time in their life, you know, posted, they've got not a mass amount, but they have like their nest egg.
Right.
They could help me out if I really needed it. Yeah. So I had a safety net, and I know some people don't. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they did not help me. And it just sort of all worked out. And I think it's great. Like, I wish I could tell myself that in other aspects of my life that I'm just like clinging to and trying to control.
Yeah.
You know, like
what?
Like just with my career and stuff, because it's so hard to find next steps and opportunities. And if I only had the same way of thinking that I do with money, which is like, it'll come.
Maybe you could now.
It's destined. Maybe I should.
Maybe this is the breakthrough moment. You guys are
so
here
much inner
for
work.
it.
I'm going to literally die.
Look at this shadow work. Right.
It's too much.
It's killing her.
Oh, I'm feeling things.
Hold on. I'm really growing way too much.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. But okay. So the main takeaway here is to do your shadow work. And then, excuse me, I got the wine burps.
Yeah. I think it's your soul.
And then when it comes to
tarot readers, I always see like burping and stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you ever see that?
Or when they like take a sip.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
sorry, my throat's getting dry. You're not talking enough. Your throat chakra.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is.
Truth.
When it comes to your relationship with money, though, after you do the, what's it called? Limiting belief work. You know, you do your tapping.
Get into the shadow work.
Once you do that,
why you believe the way you believe. Get off the autopilot train.
Now it's time to better your relationship with money. And this is kind of weird, but I really want you to take care of money.
Yeah, nurture that relationship. Make love to the money.
Okay, maybe not that.
Not necessarily,
but Brittany's on the right track.
You know what I mean?
Like, you know, don't just crinkle up your dollar bills and like throw them in your wallet. Like neatly lay them, you know, put them in order, organize them, keep track of them. Like make sure you know where your money is going. Put your loose change in a piggy bank. Like respect money.
Respect the money.
And it will freaking respect you.
True. I made a spreadsheet the other day on this note just to track like the bills at the studio.
Okay, that's smart.
Just to know, because I'm one of those like, so bad.
Free spender?
I hope no one who knows.
I already know what you're going to say, I think.
Watches, yeah, of course you know. Like, y'all might not be surprised to find that when I don't feel in control of something, or like, not in control, like it makes me nervous, or I'm like, oh wow, lots going out. Well, especially this past year with like panini stuff.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. If you say the word.
No way. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
So we're going back in. So what was I saying?
Free spender.
Yeah. Okay. So especially this past year with the panini situation and everything going on, I mean, a lot of money was going out, and like that stresses me out. Like, I mean, I'm not like an airhead about it. Like, I know it's happening, but what I'll do is I'm like, well, I just can't deal with this now because it makes me too nervous, so I just won't look at it. And then I get more anxious not looking at it. So the other day I was like organizing the studio, and I was like, you know what? Something that would make me feel a lot more empowered would be to put all my expenses into a spreadsheet, even if it makes me uncomfortable, just so that I know what I'm dealing with. Because if I know what I'm dealing with, then I can manifest enough money to cover it.
There you go.
I'm telling
And
you.
how did that work for you? So far, so
felt
good.
really
Like,
good.
do you at least have like
felt
a
good.
sense of peace about like, okay, well
Yes.
now I know where things are going, and it's actually more manageable than I thought.
100%. I was like, you know what? It's never all going to be exactly like what you want it to be, but knowing what's happening, like having the awareness, puts you in a place where you can make decisions and you can manifest more and you can focus. So yeah, I felt like it was a breakthrough.
Good for
So
you.
this is very empowering.
I'm proud.
Thank you.
I get that way too sometimes, where it's just like we all do. Like you go through ups and downs and stuff, and
sure.
when things are just like going
life
out,
happens.
life happens. And when things are just like, you know, being deducted from your bank account and not enough
like, good
deposits, you're
Lord.
just like, oh shoot.
Oh my God.
And then also just like something to think about, and this is going to be the hardest one, but try to spend money like you do have it. Oh my God, the look you gave me.